Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2025 related video here on my channel, specifically another Melodifestivalen 2025 related video, because right now I'm about to listen to snippets of all of the songs involved in Heat 5 of this year's Swedish selection process for the Eurovision Song Contest, which as we all know will take place this May in Basel, Switzerland. I'm also going to be briefly reviewing last week's Heat 4 and also talking a little bit about the second chance round thingamajig that is happening at the end of this week's final heat. As always, you're very welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So let's take a look back now, to begin with, at last week's Malmö staged fourth heat. Now it has been a pretty busy week for me, and it's been several days since I watched these performances, so I may well forget certain bits and pieces, but nevertheless, once again, there were 6 acts involved. 2 progressed through to the Stockholm final, which will take place next weekend, and the song finishing second in the second round of voting has progressed through to the second chance round thingamajig, meaning 3 other names were eliminated, and that includes the artist who opened Heat 4 of this year's Melfest, the Melfest veteran Andreas Lundstedt with Vicious. This finished third in the second round of voting. He's in his early 50s. He's been at Eurovision before as part of 6 for 1 in Switzerland in 2006, and he's been involved in Melfest several times over the years as a solo act and as part of Alcazar. This was okay. It wasn't massively competitive. I never really viewed it as a song that was maybe going to make the final, but it was in with a reasonable shot of making it through to the second chance round thingamajig at the very least. I've written here, leather jacket, sounds ultra similar to another song. It really does. I can't remember what song, but it does sound very familiar to me. He had dancers off to each side of him with this performance, maybe a little bit sensual in terms of the choreo. He was really going for it. All credit to him, because this wasn't somebody coming back after many years away with a song that simply wasn't strong enough. Here was a guy coming back after several years away, giving it a really good go, and he seemed to be really enjoying himself on stage. Lots of red lighting, needed an extra kick in the chorus. The song itself didn't really go anywhere. There wasn't a great deal of progression, if you ask me. There was a little bit of pyro towards the end, and if you ask me as well, I would say that Andreas is maybe not the strongest live vocalist. It felt to me as though some of the backing vocals, the backing track, were really doing some of the heavy lifting here. But nevertheless, not that bad. But it's out. Song 2, this is through to the second chance round thingamajig. This was Bardu Adar by Ella Tiritiello, young female musician. She was in a white outfit and spent most of this performance lying on top of what looked to be a very large cushion of sorts. There really wasn't much to this. It's a really pretty, simple track. However, I did find myself losing interest by the time the final third kicked in. The staging wasn't massively memorable, but it's a really lovely little track. Quite a warm sound, I've written here. Lacking sparkle in places. Not sure it will progress. I'm not sure it will go through from the second chance round thing that's coming up soon. And I don't really have much else to say about this. Obviously, 2-time Eurovision winner Loreen has co-written this track. Yeah, it's nice. I can see Ella coming back maybe next year or the year after that with something a great deal stronger. Right now, this just feels like it's playing it maybe a bit too safe. Anyway, song 3 was Tennessee Tears with Yours. Now, I liked Tennessee Tears a couple of years ago. They had a really nice number back then. This just wasn't up to scratch. Not bad, but not strong enough, and I'm not surprised they were eliminated. I've written here, not as strong as their previous effort. Of course, it's a male-female double act. They have musicians with them on stage, gold lighting, not a great deal of movement, perhaps not a great deal of energy as well. a toe-tapping, light country sound, and that's really all I've got to say about it. There really wasn't much to it at all, was there? Nice, but somewhat forgettable. Needed a little bit more oomph, I suppose. Song 4 was Barabarabastu by Kai. This is the three-piece male group, obviously with ties to Finland. This is in with a very serious shot of winning this year's Melfest, except they probably won't because Mons is coming up, and I'll be talking about him in a moment. But I enjoyed this from start to finish. This song, the performance of it, at last week's fourth heat of Melfest, has had over 1 million views, which for a song that we don't even know if it's going to Eurovision yet, and we're not even at the Melfest final stage yet, that is very, very impressive. This song has gone viral, I suppose. It's not just people in Sweden and people in Finland enjoying this. I've seen loads of people react to this from all over, and they're really, really loving it. They're finding it a very light-hearted, somewhat silly, but ultra-catchy track, which it really, really is. It's very easy to go along with this song, and the chorus, absolutely. I've written here, fun and a tad silly, performed confidently. It was so engaging from start to finish. Quirky choreography. There they were, quite snappily dressed, and you had dancers with them, with towels wrapped around them, and then the set changed into a sauna, and they're all sitting there having a bit of a dance, and there was the fire as well, and it became more of a party-like atmosphere towards the end with the flashing lights and everything. It was just so enjoyable. It puts a smile on your face. I've written here the accordion, very catchy, meme-worthy, I suppose. This definitely has legs. If it doesn't win Melfest, it doesn't matter too much, you could say, because this is still going to be massively popular with Eurovision fans, and neutrals, I suppose, as well, moving forwards. Absolutely a challenger for the win. And it's fantastic because they're newcomers. It's not somebody who's been there and done that. Hello, Mons. Song 5 was Do Good Be Better by Amena. There was a smoke machine for this one. She sang quite well. I've written here that her vocals reminded me a little bit of Alanis Morissette at times. Interesting. I'm not sure why I wrote that, but there we are. Yeah, okay. I can't really read my own handwriting here. Pinkish and red lighting at times and then green later on. A little bit junior Eurovision in style I've written here, and a tad repetitive. Perfectly fine entry. Never really stood much of a chance. Can't say much more than that. And there wasn't really anything about this performance that made it truly stand out. And then, of course, we had former Eurovision winner Måns Zelmerlöw cruising through to the final. The international juries will wet themselves when they vote on this, when the Stockholm final is upon us next week. And the Swedish public may go massive for this as well. He is absolutely the one to beat. He could well win Eurovision this year, should he get there, which I would say is likely. Started off with whistling in the background. He's obviously a very charismatic, very competent performer. Like I said, he's been there and done that when it comes to Eurovision, so he knows what he's doing. He's been performing for a long time. He's working the camera. He was wearing a black Neo from the Matrix type outfit, clearly in it to win it, clearly trying to win. I think that's his aim. Really, watching the performance, it felt to me as though he is here because he wants to win. That is abundantly clear. He's not here just for a good time, like John Lundvik perhaps. He's here to absolutely win this thing. The staging was quite interesting, and it does elevate the song no end. You take that staging away, it's not quite as impressive. It resembled a sort of cardboard cutout section of a children's book. That's what I've written down here. Obviously, it builds up and builds up. There's paper flying through the air at certain points. He's getting smacked in the face with it. It's all getting rather frantic. It builds and builds, and then you've got that big sort of euphoric moment at the end. And would I say that this is stronger than Heroes? I'm not sure I would. But clearly it's a very fine effort. Should it win Melfest? No. But will it win Melfest? Yeah, probably. But anyway, that's the situation. I wasn't blown away. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I prefer this song, but if you said to me, would you rather watch Barabarabastu or Revolution, I know which one I'm going for straight away. I know which one is going to be more memorable for viewers on the Eurovision stage. But anyway, it is what it is. Let's now focus on Heat 5, which is taking place in Jönköping. Snippets are out. Song 1 is Ring Baby Ring by Arvingarna, who represented Sweden in 1993, the year I was born, in Mill Street, that competition that year. They're obviously very seasoned performers as well. All-male group. I am not writing this one off whatsoever, because Arvingarna have been in Melfest many times since, and they've done pretty well for themselves over the years, so this could be another example of them coming back and going through to the Melfest final. Song 2 is This Dream of Mine by Arwin. I've heard some positive comments about that track. Don't know much about them as a performer though. Song 3 is Hate You So Much by Saga Ludvigsson. This is potentially one to watch, and I did read something on social media yesterday suggesting that Ben and Tan from Denmark, who would have been at Eurovision in 2020 had the contest not been cancelled, this was a song that they submitted to DMGP some time ago. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but Saga Ludvigsson, I'm sensing she could do quite well with younger viewers. Song 4 is Love It by Victoria Silvstedt, who was crowned Miss World Sweden in 1993. She's 50. She's also been a Playboy Playmate and appeared on reality TV and what have you over the years. So she is a somewhat recognisable figure, I would say. Song 5 is I'm Yours by Wilhelm Buschhaus, not entirely sure how you pronounce that, don't know much about them as a performer. And Song 6 is Scarlet with Sweden Psycho. This is the heavy metal female duo, Scarlet and Thirsty. They were in Melfest last year with Circus X, which wasn't bad. I wanted to like it more, I just couldn't really get on board with it. And this, getting the cushy slot last in the final heat, maybe this is a very serious contender to win the whole thing. Anyway, I'm on the SVT Play website where you can listen to 1 minute long snippets of these. What I'm watching won't be in the bottom corner of the video you're watching, that's the way it usually is, but these are static images anyway. I'm going to go through this once again in order of preference, so I am going to begin with Wilhelm and I'm Yours. This is Song 5 this Saturday night. Here we go. Slightly raspy vocals, acoustic guitar. Reminds me of the Lumineers, if you're familiar with their work. La la la, bit lazy. Very easy going, this. Not sure it's going anywhere, though. Okay, I'm already saying that's probably in a spot of bother. Not sure that's going to progress. The staging could help its cause, of course, but right now I'm not massively blown away by that. Next up, we're going to check out Arwin with This Dream of Mine. Electro. Oh. Feels as though this could be quite epic. This isn't bad. It feels like it could be in a computer game or a movie or something like that. I could imagine somebody like Robin Bengtsson singing this song. Yeah, it feels like it should be the theme track to some character in a movie who's overcoming adversity and is becoming their true selves. That's not too bad. It feels as though it could be quite epic at the end. So that's in with a decent shot. Next up, we are going to check out Arvingara with Ring Baby Ring, and this has been co-written by Thomas Gierson, the man who simply cannot stay away. Here we go. As I expected. Light-hearted, happy stuff. Oh God, it is very similar to their song from a few years ago. Some brassy sounds. I mean, it's nothing incredible, but you know what you're going to get from them. And people do very much enjoy their stuff. I mean, like I've said in this video already, they've had success. They have qualified straight through to the final a few times before. It could happen again. You never know. Do not write them off. Next up, we are going to check out Song 4 this weekend. Victoria Silvstedt with Love It. So it's a pop song. From Paris to LA. Smouldering stuff. Stairway to Heaven. Okay, this chorus is not packing much of a punch. I'd also say it feels fairly dated. Yeah, that's okay, but it's really lacking that little bit of something extra, that little sparkle to make it truly pop off. But you never know, that might go through. Thomas Gierson's co-written that one as well. He cannot stay away. Next up, there's only 2 more to go, and I'm going to check out Saga Ludvigsson now with Hate You So Much. And this is co-written with the guy who co-wrote Move for the Mamas a few years ago, I believe. Bit of whistling. Okay. 13 seconds in, this is already reminding me a slight bit of Victoria with Save Me all those years ago. Meta boy with sweet blue eyes, that sort of thing. Bit of a country twang. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Again, maybe lacking a little extra punch. And for a song where she's singing Hate You So Much, it feels very fluffy and very happy indeed. So there is a bit of a contrast there. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Okay, not bad, not bad. Next up is surely the hot favourite to win this heat, though. It is Sweden Psycho by Scarlett. Here we go. Very moody. Anthemic. slowing it down just a touch. Okay, this pre-chorus sounds very familiar to something else. I'm not sure what though. Okay, yeah, it's rock with elements of electronic stuff going on as well, I would say. Maybe coming across as a little bit messy sonically. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that. I would already say that I'm going to enjoy this more than their previous Melfest effort, and that is probably likely to be the winner of this heat. When it gets to the final, though, it could be a different story. So with that being said, do I think this is a particularly strong Melfest heat? No, I don't. My opinions have not changed based on these snippets. I still think it's Mons probably winning by an absolute country mile. I would say here Scarlet are going to win this heat, and it could well be between Arwen and Arvingana for that second spot in the final. And then I think it's going to be Arwen, Arvingana or Saga going through to the second chance round thingamajig. I think Victoria is going to miss out, and Wilhelm probably has last place all sewn up. Now, just very briefly looking ahead to the second chance round thingamajig, I don't know exactly how this is working. Do the votes carry over from the heats themselves? What does it say here? Only the third placing song will proceed to a final qualification round at the end of the fifth heat. Will there be recency bias, as there was last year? You know, we had Jay Smith and Annika Vicky Helder. They'd performed that very evening, and they ended up progressing through to the final. The top two songs in the final qualification will then progress to the final. Yeah. Okay. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the second chance round thingamajig so far, we have Hush Hush by Meira Omar, which is a bit of a fan favourite. I thought the live performance was fine. I think the song is okay. I think it's in with a reasonable shot of going through. Bit of choreography, fairly catchy chorus, not too bad at all. Salute by Khalifa is essentially a very much watered down Medina, that sort of thing. Don't really remember the performance a great deal. It was a bit of a party time, lots of colourful stuff going on around him. But Sweden are better than this. And to me, it just feels not like a throwaway track. But for such an up-tempo song, I think it would perhaps be forgotten about a little bit in the final. Then we have Dolly Style with Yee Ha. The views have poured in for this one. It's done well in terms of streaming figures lately. The four girls in the wigs having a great old time, pretending that they're at some sort of rodeo. There's choreo, it's fun, it's obviously not to be taken too seriously, but they perform it very convincingly. And yes, I'm clearly not the correct audience, perhaps, for a song of this style, but I very much enjoyed it from start to finish. And if you told me, would you rather listen to Revolution or Yee Ha, I know which one I'm going for. So I can see Dolly Style getting quite a bit of love. I really can. I can see that in the final. Then, of course, as I've already spoken about, Ella Tirriciello, I'm not sure she's going to do it. I don't think the song is quite strong enough, but you never know. And then we will have somebody from this week's fifth heat in Jönköping joining that little group as well. Anyway, I've rambled big time, no surprises there. Let me know what you think about these songs and how this year's Melfest Grand Final is shaping up as well. I'll be back with another video fairly soon because we are getting the Dutch song shortly. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.